Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today I'm doing a very anticipated review of Seven Empires by Rio Grande Games. So what is Seven Empires? It is a 2 to 6 player stock market war game is the best way I'm going to describe it. It is a streamlined version of this game right here, Imperial 2030, but this or Imperial 2030 is the grander version of Imperial, but they are almost essentially the same game, just in a grander aspect. So Seven Empires is by Mark Gertz, who is known for Concordia, a very good, excellent deck building euro. So what's going on in this game is you're essentially trying to get influence in these 7 empires and trying to have the most victory points or money or power at the end of the game. So it is a war game per se, but the heart and soul is in choosing which empires you want to invest in. So let me show you, I'll give you a brief overview of how this game works, how it plays, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Final review. This is going to be probably a pretty long review because we have a lot to talk about. So let's get to the table, show you how to play, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Okay, so we just got done with a game of 7 empires here. I'm just going to go over a brief overview how this game works. So, like I said, it looks like a war game, but essentially this is a stock market game mixed in with a war game. So essentially you're going to be a influencer or somebody who is working behind the scenes, influencing countries to do certain things, and you want to be the richest influencer at the end of the game. So as you can see here, France was on top, had the most power points at the end, followed by Russia and Saxony and so forth. So here are the actions that you can do. And everyone's going to start with certain influence and sometimes 1 or 2 monarchies. Now, the first action you can do is build and deploy. Now, when you do one of these actions, you have to do the action of a country that you have a monarchy in. If not, then if you cannot do one with that you have a monarchy in, and if you have at least more than 3 influence in another country, then you can do an action for them. And so, and again, if you still can't do it, then the person who has the monarchy of that country that has not taken an action is going to take the action, but it's still considered your turn. You just get to place an army or a military unit, so like one of these guys, wherever you want. So let's go over the first action that you can do. Build and deploy. So you can build or upgrade a city. So when you upgrade, you can simply just flip it over, or you could build a city wherever you want. The cities can be like the palace or sometimes a military unit, which is also could be upgraded to artillery, or you could have these ships here. Again, also could be upgraded to the 3-master. So let's build and deploy, and then you can deploy 1 unit per city. So you have your regular troops, you have artillery, and you have these ships. Now there's 2 types of ships. This is a 3-master ship, and then you have the smaller one, which is a 2-master. The second one you can do is blue, move and fight. Now, like what I said before, the available actions are going to be here on this tile. And then the action that you take is going to be placed right here. And then as the next rounds come, they're going to be pushed off to the side. So there's going to be certain actions these countries are not going to be able to do for a while. So move and fight is pretty much what it says. First, you're going to move all of your fleet. So the country that you're going to choose to do that action is going to move all their fleet first. Now, whenever you go into an occupied space, you're going to put the flag of that country. But if you go into this spot right here, so they're going to cancel each other out. That is going to engage in combat. So they'll cancel each other out, and this will still be left here. But if you moved another ship into here, then you would put that country's flag there as well.
and then you will move all your armies. Now, if you move your army into a foreign factions area, the monarch has can say if they want to attack you or let you go and move. With the ships, though, it's different. If you move into a foreign empire's area, you can choose to attack them or leave them go, let them go, and just move on to the next area. But with artillery now, if the artillery is the attacker, they are going to destroy this person right away. So they're going to win at a 1-to-0 ratio. But if someone went in to attack artillery, they will both destroy themselves at a 1-to-1 ratio. So that is essentially how combat works. It's very deterministic. Then the third action, the black action, is going to be attack. So you're going to deploy 2 arbitrary units and move and fight with both. So you would just deploy 2 units in an area and then move those 2 and then fight if you have to, or if you want to just take over some neutral areas. Then the next one, so this is how you score. You would palace. So you would build or upgrade 1 palace. So you could build a palace, like I could build a palace here if I want, or anywhere, or upgrade it by flipping. Then you would score the power points per crown in your region. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yellow would go up 5 on the power track. And then the last one is red, is empire. You would add 1 power point per flag. So you would count all your flags on the map. Remember, you place flags when you move into an unoccupied space. But again, you would have to destroy the foreign country first to get the flag out of there, or their troops, and then take it over. So they would score 1 power point per flag and go up on the power point right here. Now, if you had if let's say France had a unit in the foreign country, they would have a unit here in this city. They cannot deploy it or use this city. So yeah, once all the countries have taken a turn, then you're going to give the first player marker, which is this one right here, to the person to the left of the last person who took the turn. And then you're going to flip these time tracks. And again, that's going to end after the 10th round. And essentially what that means is there are events. So the third player is going to pick an influence card here, any one that they want, and add it to their tableau. And this one is placing units, same thing. This one will be a worker card. So these are like the small workers here. They're only worth 1 influence for the country. Of course, the first player gets to choose an influence first. But really, where everything, the meat of the game is choosing these. So it's essentially like a stock market game. You're trying to get the influence of each country. Well, why do you want to do that? Well, because at the end of the game, whoever has the most power points is going to go up on that track. So, like, for example, France had the most. So, with endgame scoring, I only had 4 influence in France. So, I would do 4 times 7, and that would be my score from France. And then you would add all of them together and so forth. So, like 3, 4. So, I would have 7 times 6 for 42, and so forth. So, you're essentially adding up all those influence at the end of the game. Whoever has the most is going to be the winner. Now, also, if there is a tie with the power points, if the tiebreaker is going to go by who is the highest. So Saxony here is always going to win tiebreakers. And that is, again, the meat of how Seven Empires is played. I left some small things out, but that is essentially what's going on. So let's go back, and I will let you know what my final thoughts are.
Okay, that is Seven Empires. So I'm going to say, first and foremost, this is not a heavy game at all. It's not, in terms of tabling, it is a easier game to table. I haven't played Imperial 2030 yet. Again, I picked it up a few months ago. Haven't got a chance to play it. But the rulebook first was pretty good from what going over so far. There were some things I felt could have been worded a little bit better, but the rulebook is very good this time around. So what I showed you was just a brief overview. There was probably some little things I missed. And as you can see, it is a war game. There is combat. but it's not like you're playing as an empire. You're trying to invest in who you think is going to be the most powerful empire, and get points from them. So you are manipulating them into attacking other empires as well, even ones that you have influence in. So there is a lot of meat to this game, but the heart and soul is during the when you're going into the next round. If you're picking influence cards, that is where the most important part of the game is. You're, in a way, you're taking a bit of a gamble, and but you're also trying to plan ahead. So you're like, all right, I'm gonna take influence from here. You could take it maybe because you know, if from seeing on the board, okay, these guys got a lot of flags on the map. They have a lot of power points. Or you can confuse your opponents and say, you know what, I'm gonna take from Russia, and then manipulate them into maybe taking over most of northern Europe or so, and then all of a sudden Russia is a powerhouse, and so forth. So there's a lot of manipulation in this game. There's no randomness whatsoever. So it has that Euro feel as well. It is essentially a Euro game as well. So you're getting a Euro stock market and war game just crunched into one. And I'm going to say everyone at the table loved this game. It was a ton of fun, and this is the streamline version of Imperial, and it still had a lot of meat to it. It still had a bunch of ways to victory, different strategies every game. Every game is going to play differently depending on the player count. In terms of player count, I think 3 to 4 is the sweet spot. I think 5, 6 might be a little too much. I think 3, 4 is going to be the best way to play. I can't speak for the other Imperial games. I guess I know they're longer games. This game can be played in 2 hours. If nobody has any AP. We did have some AP during the game, again, because you want to think ahead what's going on. Because on your turn, you're only able to control the countries that you have monarchs in, or certain amount of influence. So, but first and foremost, you have to pick your monarchs to choose the action. But if they've been chosen, then you would have to pick a country that you have at least 3 or more influence in. So you want to be sure that you're okay in those 3 countries and have control over them and what you want to do. So like you want to make sure that the country that you at least have some influence in has a nice spot on the board, because it's going to give you that many points at the end of the game. And it can be mean. You can screw other people over, including yourself. But if that means you screw somebody else over, by purposefully having a monarch just screw up or implode, you're doing that for yourself. You could do that for yourself, where you have a larger investment in another monarch as well. But as long as your opponents don't get those points. It's a lot of things going on in this game, but I think it is a great, excellent game. In terms of components, again, Rio Grande doesn't make fancy looking games, but this one looks nice on the table. The wood components are great. The cards, everything, it looks nice on the tables. I do worry about people who are colorblind might have some trouble with looking at the map. But it still looks good on the table. But you're not having this crazy minis and stuff on there. But it still looks good. So no complaints there. So really, my only complaint about the game, and again, I think it has it does not overstay its welcome unless you wanted to, because there are variants that add more of the different time, the time events, and of course you can make the game longer. I don't know if you really want to do that. Again, that's entirely on your group if they want to play those 2 extra rounds. That's really all it is. The rounds do go by pretty quick, because sometimes you can have a round where everyone's just picking empire, estate, or palace scoring, or empire or palace scoring. So a round will go by quick, and then the next round you can have everyone choosing the monarchs, building or attacking or again just moving across the board. Yeah, but the rounds are pretty quick. Turns are pretty quick. I do like the way the action selection is. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Barrage, which is a game I freaking despise because of that action wheel. But it's funny because like you choosing this action, and now this country is not going to be able to do that for quite some time. At least three until maybe 3 turns. I'm sorry, 3 rounds. So you have to be wise in what you're choosing for that country. Do you really want to attack now with it, or wait until everything opens up a bit, and then you could easily have them take over the different lands. Again, every time one of your units moves onto a land area or a sea area, you're gonna put that flag down. So that kind of reminded me a little bit of Nightmare Cathedral, where Nightmare Cathedral had a little bit of that Euro element when in terms of area control. That's probably where Nightmare Cathedral got it from the original Imperial games. But yeah, no, there is. I'm trying to find something that I didn't like, but there's really nothing that I didn't like about this game. Most of it is positive. The only real negative is maybe the rulebook could have been a little bit clearer. Again, I said replayability, which is very important to me, is very high in this game because every game is going to play out differently. Everyone's going to have a different strategy depending on which monarch they have. All right, so and again too, what I didn't show in the how to play. Once somebody gets more influence than you in a certain monarch, they're taking that monarch card from you. So there's a good chance that you might not have any monarchies at the end of the game, but that doesn't mean you're going to lose. That all that means is you don't have the chance to control that empire. So yeah, like I said, a lot of things going on in this game. But despite all that, it is still an easy game to teach and learn and play. Maybe strategy wise, it'll take you maybe a game or two to really know what kind of strategy you want to take. But other than that, this is a pretty simple game easy game to table. And again, it's not going to take long. Setup was okay. I mean, it doesn't take some time, but not that big of a deal. Yeah, so rambling a lot. Again, I was really looking forward to this game. I really struggled with how to rate it. I was going back and forth with a different rating, but this can go higher. I do think it might go higher, but right now I'm sitting at an 8 out of 10. I know how much I'm raving about it. You would think this is like a 9 or above. To me right now, it is an 8 out of 10. That's my how much I am enjoying it. I do think it can go high. I was going to give it an 8.5, but I'm more comfortable giving it an 8 at the moment because I want to see how, or like after a few plays, is this the one I want to keep tabling, or do I want to keep Imperial 2030 and then sell 7 Empires, or is it going to be the other way around and then keep Imperial 2030 and then 7 Empires? I think it's going to be keeping this only because it, like I said, how streamlined it is, or I might end up keeping both. If I want to have a more grander experience, keep 2030, and maybe play that some days, or if I want to play a quicker game, play this. But I do think this is a game that you need to everyone should play at least once. You have to check this game out. It is a ton of fun. 8 out of 10, solid 8 out of 10. Again, could potentially go an 8.5, maybe even a 9. As of right now, I'm comfortable with that 8 out of 10. It's gonna get my seal of recommendation. But yes, that is 7 Empires. Really, and I want to thank Rio Grande for sending me this copy for review. Great company, excellent company. They always put out great games, and this is no different. I hope this game gets a lot of coverage and a lot of attention. I really think people should check it out. Again, might not be for everybody, especially if you're not a war gamer, but you don't have to be a war gamer to like this game, because it is at its heart also a stock market Euro with that war game manipulation of the figures. So, again, oh, and the what I didn't bring up is the combat. There were some people talking at the table that they wish that you could roll a dice for combat. I don't think that's this type of that it would work in this type of game. I think I like the combat being deterministic here, because again, essentially, it's not a war game at heart. I don't feel like we need that luck here. You know you're gonna go in there attack. You want both of those armies to get killed off, or you know you want to move in with the artillery. Like I said, and how to play the artillery. The second they attack, it's a 1-to-0 ratio. They're gonna destroy their that opponent right away. And I find it interesting that if you're moving with the land unit, that the monarchy, the foreign monarch that whose land you're going into, has the choice if they're going to attack you or not. That made it really interesting too. When you're sailing with the ships, it wasn't like that. It was your decision if you want to attack the foreign ships or not. So, yeah, I thought the combat again was very clean and simple. I don't think this needs dice for combat. It is not that type of game. There's like I said, I like it with not having any luck at all. I did think that I did feel like the three master ships, that they should have been a little bit more stronger, because the ships, they still destroy each other in a 1-to-1 ratio. The only difference between the two master ship and the three master ship is the three master ship can move 3 spaces instead of 2. And the three master ship, you can, so also, I don't know if I showed it in the how to play, but you can essentially use them as a bridge for the land units. But the thing is, when you have to use the two master ship, no other unit can cross. So you would have to lay it flat, and you can no longer use that ship to cross over a sea space. But with the three master ship, you could cross as many units as you want and use them. So that was interesting, but I do wish that the three master ships kind of had a little bit more of a strength advantage. Again, not that big of a deal, but this is still a great game. It's definitely going to be on my top 10 list of games of 2025. Still waiting to see all the other stuff that comes out, but Seven Empires is really. It's definitely gonna be on my top 100 next year. So yeah, hope you got. That's it. 8 out of 10. 7 Empires. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Help this little channel grow. If you have any questions with this game, please leave it in the comment section. So that's going to do it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it and have a great one.